Okay, this is part 3 of a workout program that I'm making for an unnamed client. You know who you are. This video is for you. This is part 3, or what I would call C day. So what we're going to be doing, this is going to be just a body weight day, primarily a body weight day. What you're going to do is you're going to have 2 rounds. Round 1, you're going to be doing some SLDLs, air squats, some walkouts with windmills. You'll do that 3 times through. Oh, no, we don't want that. And then you're going to move on to the second part of this, which is some planks, some bridges, and some crunches. And you'll also do that 3 times. So let's go ahead and move forward, and I'm going to walk you through what one of these looks like. Okay, so for weeks 1 through 4, circuit number 1. 10 SLDLs, post up. I put myself right by a wall just in case I lost some balance. We're working on really driving that right leg backwards, keeping it nice and square. You can see that my shoulders and my back stay in a nice straight line, so I'm not slumping. And we're going to go for 10 and 10 SLDLs. So I'm going to kind of speed this up a little bit. Switch sides. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's my 10 and 10 SLDL. Next up, I'm going to set up for 10 air squats. This is just a body weight squat. I like to reach my arms out in front of me for counterbalance. You're going to try to sit down and do a deep squat. You're going to try to get your butt lower than your knees. You can't see me from the front, but making sure that my knees and my feet are in proper alignment. I'm not letting my knees bow in. My back is staying nice and flat. I'm not losing tension at the bottom, but we're just going to go for 10 air squats. Next up is going to be 5 walkout planks plus a windmill each side. So from here, I'm going to set up. I'm going to sort of use a hinge squatty thing to get myself down to the ground. I'm just going to walk out till I get myself into a plank position. Once I'm here, I'm going to turn, windmill, center back up, walk back to my feet, and stand, and that is 1. So just note my ankles. When I actually do the windmill, watch my feet. You're actually going to see my heels completely land on the ground, so they're totally pivoting. I'm going to reach. I don't need to hold for super long, but I'm going to make sure I get to a locked out windmill position, and then I'm going to return. So I'm going to do 5 of those. Here's 3, 4, 5, and 5. So that's circuit number 1. So this is still week 1 through 4. After you've done that, your next complex is going to be the following. You're going to start off. Now, I shortened this up, by the way, so I don't hold this for a whole 30 seconds for the sake of time, but I'm going to set up, plank position, squeeze my butt, elbows down. My body's in a nice straight line. I'm going to hold that plank for 30 seconds. Again, I'm not doing it for 30 seconds here, but you'll hold for 30 seconds. Then you're going to move to your back. Plant your feet. I like to lift my toes up sometimes just so I know that I'm pushing through my heels, not my toes. And I'm just going to drive my hips up. 2, 3. I'm driving my hips up. I'm trying to not push my belly button up. I'm just squeezing my butt as hard as I can. And I'm going to go for 20 glute bridges. I think I actually did all 20 here, so I'm going to speed through this. Next up, we're going to do 20 crunches. Here's the way I like to do them. I like to put my palms right on my thighs, and I just try to slide my arms up my thighs as far as I can go. My shoulders, my head will lift off. Make sure that you're not just crunching your neck. So if you feel like your neck is getting tense, you can keep your nose pointing at the ceiling, but just make sure that you're not trying to do the crunch only with your head. You're feeling your rib cage crunch down to your hips, and you'll go for 20 crunches. There's a million different ways to do crunches. This is just a way that I like to do them. I feel a nice good contraction through my stomach. So you would run through that circuit 3 times, and then that is the workout. And you'll do that once a week for 4 weeks. So for weeks 5 through 8, you're pretty much doing the exact same things, but each of these movements now is going to progress. So we'll kind of talk about this in more detail. Your SLDLs are now going to be done holding a kettlebell. Your air squats are going to be the same thing, but you're going to be doing a pause at the bottom. And then your walkout windmills are the same, except you're going to be doing 2 windmills. And then for your second circuit, your plank goes to 45 seconds. Your bridges are now single leg bridges, and you're doing bicycle crunches instead of standard crunches. And again, they'll be doing both of these for 3 rounds. So let's give this a watch. And again, I don't do all the reps here for the sake of time. SLDLs, exact same movement. I'm just holding on to a bell. So if I'm planting my left leg, I'll be holding my weight in the opposite arm. So again, that's only 2 reps, but let's just say I did 10 on this leg, and I'm going to switch sides. And then I would do 10 SLDLs on this side. Again, my right leg is down. That means my left arm is holding on to weight. So 10 and 10. Moving forward, I'm going to set up for air squats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, hold, 2, stand. Squat down, hold, 2, down. I'm going to do 10 of these squats, just holding each of them for 2 seconds. So 10 air squats. Lastly, I'm going to do my walkout plank to windmill, but this time all I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 windmills. So I walk my way out, I plant, I'm going to roll onto my heels, reach, 1, 1, 2, 2, and that would be 1 rep. And I'm going to do that 5 times. So it's the same thing, we're just adding an extra windmill in. Again, I would walk back down. This is rep number 2. Walk out, windmill, 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 and then I'm going to walk back. That's 2. I'm going to do that 5 times. So again, I'm going to run through this whole thing 3 times. So SLDL, squat, plank. I do that 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to move on to the next circuit. So the next circuit's similar to the last one. Kind of cut off the top. This is, I'm going to kind of try to show you this because the camera is a little bit screwed up right now. This is for your weeks 5 through 8. This is the second circuit. So I'm going to go back to plank position. And again, this is going to be, there we go. This is going to be a 45-second plank. Again, standard plank, hold, 45 seconds, done. Rather than doing bridges now on 2 legs, I'm just going to turn these into single leg bridges. So I'm going to lie down on my back. I'm going to put 1 foot down. I'm going to bring my other knee up to my chest and then push 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 10 on one side, and then I'm going to do 10 on the other side. Plant, 1, 2, 10 bridges. So bicycle crunches. I'm going to start off on my back. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. I'm just reaching across. Left elbow to right knee, back and forth. I'm going to go for 10 and 10. So that equals a total of 20. Okay. For month 3, weeks 9 through 12, we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're progressing again. So I'll walk you through all of these SLDLs that are going to change. The 2 bells, air squats, just hold a little bit longer. Windmills or walkout windmills, we're adding 1. Planks a little bit longer. Your single leg bridges, those get a lot harder, and then your crunch variation is going to change. So with good form, I'm going to pick up 2 kettlebells, and I'm going to go for 10 and 10 SLDL. Hinge down, 1, 2, and I would do 10 on that side. I'm going to set down. If you want, you can just continue on to the next leg, but otherwise just set down. Same thing. 1, 2, 10 SLDLs on that side. Air squats. I'm going to set up. This time I'm going to be holding for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stand. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. stand. That's 2. So same thing, 10 air squats. I'm just holding at the bottom for 5 seconds. And lastly, walkout windmills. This time I'm just adding another windmill. I'm going to walk out. Here's my plank. 1. I'm going to speed through this a little bit. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. That's 1 rep. And I'm going to do that 5 times. Okay. So again, this is your month 3 by this point. I'm going to do that for 3 rounds. Once I've done 3 rounds of that, now I'm moving on to the second circuit. So I'm going to go to my plank. Plank now is going to turn into a 60-second plank. So I set, plant, squeeze, brace. I'm holding for 60 seconds. Next up, I used a soccer ball. You can use a stability ball. It's a little bit of balance required, so this is a little bit more tricky than it looks. You'll feel a nice kind of weird hamstring, kind of crampy type feeling. But I'm going to position, push. 1, the ball is going to really want to try to roll out on you, so you're going to have to try to hold your best and try to hold it in place. I'm going to go for 10 on one side, switch legs, and then 10 on the other side. Those are a little bit harder than they look. Lastly, your last movement, V-up crunches. I'm going to go for 20. 1, 2. So again, as I'm doing these things, as I do these, I'll rewind it for just a second. My feet and my body go out at the same time. And then on my way up, I bring them back together. And I'm going to go for 20 of these. So as is the rule for anything, if you're doing these things and you start to feel like your lower back is bothering you, it doesn't feel great, stop. I mean, especially if you get tired, listen to your body. If you're doing a great job and you're let's just say your intrinsic core gets fatigued out, then you might start to feel it in your lower back. That's normal. We just don't want that. Okay. So again, this is the second circuit of the 3rd month. So just to kind of run through it again, for weeks 1 through 4, you're going to be doing SLDLs, air squats, windmills, or walk out to windmills. You're going to do that 3 times. Done. And then you're going to do circuit 2, which is your plank, your bridge, your crunches. You're going to run through that 3 times, and then you're done. Speed through here. There's the whole thing. And again, this is going to be 4 weeks of this, so you don't have to worry about rushing into the more advanced stuff until you hit that week number 5. Here's the second circuit. Speeding through, speeding through, speeding through. There's my crunches and done. And then here's weeks 5 through 8. So now we're advancing it. Again, your SLDLs are holding onto a weight. Your air squats are pausing. Your walkouts, we're adding a windmill. Your plank got longer. Your SLDL or your single leg bridge is now single leg, not on 2 legs. Your crunch variation got a little bit tougher. And again, now you're on weeks 5 through 8. So you're going to run through this 3 rounds. Once you make it through 3 times, now you're moving on to the second circuit. So we're still on weeks 5 through 8. This is the second circuit. 45-second plank, 10 and 10, single leg bridge, 10 and 10, bicycle crunch, and lastly, your final month, which is 9 through 12. Now I won't run you through that again because we just saw it, but your SLDLs are with 2 bells, air squats are holding longer, walkout windmills, we're doing 3 windmills per side, plank is longer, single leg bridge now on a ball, and your crunches are now V-up crunches. So a little bit longer video on this one because there's a little bit more content in here, but again, work through weeks 1 through 4. It's pretty basic, and then it gets a little bit more advanced. Don't worry if it kind of kicks your butt at first. Take as many breaks as you need to. The idea is by weeks 1 through 4, you're like, okay, that got a lot easier. Then we progress it. Now it's hard again. You work through that. That gets a little bit easier. Then we progress it again. So you're just advancing along. Okay. There's a lot of content here. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Best of luck. Let me know how it goes.